I would be so interested to see how my mother remembers this story, and if she remembers the story at all. But when I was about 8 or 9, my grandfather came into my bedroom and said, "No matter what you hear, do not come out of the bedroom." And I thought, what? And he says, "No, no, no, just stay in bed." Okay. So he leaves the bedroom, and a couple minutes later, I hear him talking to my mom, and he tells my mom that I'm sick and I can't go to school. And my mom, understandably, she's a mother, she says, "Natasha's not sick. She's perfectly fine." And my grandma says, "No, she's sick. She has to stay home." And I'm laying in bed going, "I'm fine. I'm not sick." So my mom, you can hear the resignation in her voice. And she's like, "Okay, fine, Dad. She can stay home." And a couple minutes later, I hear the front door close, and that's my mom leaving. And then it's just me and Grandpa in the house. And a couple minutes after that, I hear the sound of his footsteps on the stairs. And he comes in my bedroom, and he says, "Okay, they're all gone. We can go to the park now." And then when I got home, I said to him, we're going to have to tell Mom. And he says, "That's okay, I'll handle it." So he goes and he tells my mom, and my mom, understandably, was a little bit irritated that, her father's teaching her daughter how to play hooky. But she got over it. And it's one of my favorite memories of my grandfather, and one of my most precious memories, because he had a stroke and he died a few years later. And the thing that struck me when I think about this memory is, as I got older and I started learning more about my grandfather, what I realized was that who I understood him to be wasn't necessarily who he'd been at all. And so I knew him as this kind, generous, gentle, patient man. And then as I got older, what I came to find out was that really wasn't who he had been his whole life, and that when he was younger and his children were growing up, that quite often he was impatient and sometimes unkind to them. And that I think for my grandfather, he saw his grandkids as his second chance, his big do-over, his way to seek redemption and maybe find forgiveness for the way he had treated his children via how he would treat his grandchildren. And that was sort of the big premise, the big push for the story behind Guardian. Maggie and Serge have to grapple with each other, and they have to deal with each other. Serge is this horrible bully. He's done terrible things to her. And, it is a ghost story, it's a horror story, it's a mystery and suspense. But I think also, at the end of the day, it's a story about forgiveness and redemption, and really whether we can ever come back from the mistakes that we make, or if there's ever a time that we just cross a line that we can never uncross again.